Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Brockenshire, and with the last 6 months, we've had the greatest strain on our stress and immune systems that I've ever seen in 20 years of clinical practice. So we've had a lot of questions. I've helped literally thousands of people strengthen and tonify their nervous systems and their immune systems through this crisis. And so what I wanted to do is put together just a quick briefer to help you understand why am I using what I'm using and why does what we use work so well? What are the basics? What's the chemistry behind it? So I've reached out, I've talked to the formulators behind the things we have, and I want to introduce you to those people and help you understand why you use what you use works so well and why it always works. I have to give you a disclaimer, okay? This is me saying I am not telling you how to treat disease. I'm just giving you information that's been well referenced in the medical literature, okay? Notice this is good in Canada as well, eh? So, we're okay. All right, vitamin D. You've heard me say over and over, if you could do one thing, it would be vitamin D. The sun is amazing. The sun is healing and nourishing. We convert cholesterol into vitamin D, and your liver makes cholesterol. So if you're on cholesterol-lowering medication, technically you're going to have lower vitamin D. All of the evidence in the last 75 years shows that vitamin D, which is a neurohormone, by the way, not a vitamin, is one of the most important compounds that our bodies can create. But if you live north of Miami, you're going to need to supplement with vitamin D. So unless you live equatorial, which we do not, you need to supplement with vitamin D. Now, way back in the day, the FDA said, you only need about 400 IUs, or international units, of vitamin D to protect yourself from scurvy. So that's, or not scurvy, but rickets. Scurvy's for vitamin C, don't forget. We'll get to vitamin C. But rickets can be prevented with about 400 international units of vitamin D a day. Unfortunately, that research was wrong. Some research from the same era says you need 200,000 to 300,000 units of vitamin D a day. What we know right now is that maintaining optimal vitamin D levels, anywhere from 60 to 100 units in your bloodstream based on a blood test, can help your immune system function optimally. It can maintain healthy bone structure, energy function, brain function, etc. So, we all know vitamin D is good. The question is, how do we get it? Well, like I said, if you live north of Miami, you're going to need to supplement. And what I found over the years is the most efficient way to supplement vitamin D is with fat, because it is a fat-soluble vitamin. So, using a nanosphere liposome, which is the liquid form of vitamin D, that is the fanciest, most effective way to get vitamin D into the body. This keeps vitamin D from getting broken down by the liver. We also know that vitamins never work alone in the body. And vitamin D3, which is the form we want to use, that's called cholecalciferol. Vitamin D3 works better when it's dosed with vitamin K2. Specifically, the MK7 form of K2. Because if you know anything about vitamins, vitamin K is related to clotting. Vitamin K2 MK7 does not impact clotting negatively. So if you're on blood thinners, you can take MK7. The vitamin D we use comes in spray form. It's made by Hista Energetics. And one pump of the spray bottle will give you 1,000 units of vitamin D with the associated correct ratio of vitamin K2. I'm recommending that most adults from Labor Day to Memorial Day dose 10 sprays a day. So 10,000 units of vitamin D from the Hista Energetics Sol-Ray D spray. That's 10 sprays. That will help maintain healthy vitamin D levels. From a toxicity point of view, it's been shown that 200,000 to 300,000 units a day for 3 to 6 months may produce mild toxicity. And if that's the case, you just stop taking it. So in that case, you would have to literally drink a bottle of this vitamin D every 2 days. Don't do that. Technically, 1 bottle should last a month per person at 10 sprays. So vitamin D, and I'm sure you've seen all the research as far as COVID and other types of viral infections, D is where it's at. Make sure you have it. Make sure you're using it. Seasonal affective disorder, likelihood to get sick by everything that comes by, allergies, bone density, etc. All benefit from vitamin D. The other tool that we use a lot of is something called Cyanotrol from a company called Orthomolecular. All right. You probably have Cyanotrol at home. Why is it called Cyanotrol? Sinuses. All right. This is a formulation created to support literally the upper respiratory tract, which includes the sinuses. The reason I'm doing this is a lot of times people will call or email and ask, hey, this is going on, what do I do? To which I will respond, well, do you have any of the following at home? My hope is that you have these at home because these will cover all the bases for most infections. So vitamin D is top. Number 2 is Cyanotrol, and here's why. Andrographis paniculata, or Andrographis. Many of you have taken other Andrographis formulas. Cyanotrol in 3 capsules has a therapeutic dose of andrographilide. Andrographis is the king of the bitters. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. It pretty much kills bugs. Okay, it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. It's also a little antiparasitic, by the way. So most of the research done on respiratory infections shows Andrographis helps prevent and reduce the severity of upper respiratory tract infections. That's why it's in here. But wait, there's more. Andrographis actually protects your liver from poisons. So a lot of us are getting poisoned every day. We just don't know it. Andrographis helps prevent our insides from getting poisoned. So Andrographis, it used to be thought that you only took that when you were sick. Now we know that we should be using something like Andrographis every single day to stay as healthy and as vital as possible. And that's only one ingredient. There's thyme extract in here, which is the leaf and the flower. And for those of you that use essential oils, you know the power of thyme oil. This is not thyme oil. This is the leaf and the flower extract. Thyme is very good for the upper respiratory tract. It also thins mucus. Turmeric. I don't need to introduce or talk about turmeric other than, hey, what a great anti-inflammatory. And it helps prevent blood clots. Aha! Where have you heard that before? Eleutherococcus is also known as Siberian ginseng, which is an adaptogen, which means it helps you get used to stress, but it's also known as an antiviral. Great, we've got that. What about bromelain? You may have heard of bromelain as an enzyme. If you're eating pineapple fruit thinking you're getting bromelain, think again. That's not how it works. Bromelain doesn't come from the fruit. It comes from the pith and the peel. So unless you're gnawing on pineapple bark, you're not getting bromelain from food. Bromelain is an enzyme that eats inflammation and it eats mucus. So think sinusy mucus stuff. Might want to have that in the Great Lakes states. Berberine. This is the hydrochloride form. Berberine helps kill bugs, particularly bugs that infect dark, wet places like E. coli. Berberine has antifungal properties. Believe it or not, over 80% of sinus infections are fungal. So this is an antifungal product. Berberine is also good for balancing blood sugar at higher doses. But berberine will also help repair the mucous membranes of the sinuses and the lungs. Licorice root, typically used for adrenal support and ulcers, stomach lining, etc. But licorice root is also an antiviral. And there's plenty of evidence to support that. So all of these put together in one product. You're thinking antiviral, antifungal, probably want to keep this on hand. But wait, why didn't we talk about this thing up here? N-acetylcysteine, or NAC. I had a doctor ask me recently, hey doc, how do you spell NAC? Well, let's see. E-N, NAC, for crying out loud. You see what you're dealing with doctors sometimes? Oi. So NAC, N-acetylcysteine, at this dosage, 750 milligrams, when you take that, your body will start to make more glutathione, which helps detoxify the system. One of the reasons you feel so rotten when you're sick is you start to deplete your glutathione reserves. And studies have shown that even with the worst symptoms of the flu, when you take NAC, you don't have those symptoms. So essentially, you could be sick, just not feel sick, which would be nice. So a lot of people, when they use Cyanotrol regularly, could be sick, but they're asymptomatic. And that's what we need. We need to power through what's going on in the world and keep ourselves as strong as possible. So this is why we lean heavily on Cyanotrol. It has everything that I would like to see in a single product to support, address, and prevent any infections that happen here. Okay, so that's what it's for. Cyanotrol. Its little brother is D-Hist, which we use for allergy symptoms to dry this up. But we'll talk about allergies in a bit. So that's why Cyanotrol is so awesome. Now, we can't talk about the immune system without talking about vitamin C. And during the last 6 months, we have used a variety of vitamin C's. We offer the Camu form in a powder and also the liposomal form in a liquid. This is the liposomal form. Now, we get it from 2 different places, but it's the exact same product. I'm going to give it to you directly from the lab and the formulator's mouth as to why this vitamin C is so.
Liposomal vitamin C brings you a highly bioavailable, premier quality vitamin C supplement. We use European Quali-C in this supplement, a form of vitamin C produced in the Green Hills of Scotland and fully traceable to ensure a clean, GMO-free product. One of the problems with ordinary vitamin C delivered as capsules, tablets, or powders is that very little is absorbed in the gut, especially as you increase doses. The very small liposomal vesicles that deliver vitamin C in this supplement have rapid absorption beginning right in the mouth. The liposomes also increase the circulation of vitamin C so that it stays in your bloodstream and vastly improves cellular delivery, really making this liposomal format almost like getting a vitamin C IV. People usually know about vitamin C as something that supports immune function, like when you're getting a cold. But it does much more than that. It's important for the health of many tissues in your body, like skin and blood vessels, because it's necessary for the formation of collagen. Now, we learned this early from the days of scurvy on the boats. Scurvy was a vitamin C deficiency disease, and people with scurvy had easy bruising, unhealthy gums, and poor wound healing because they weren't able to make healthy collagen to seal the tissues up. Vitamin C is also very important for mood. This little understood part of vitamin C was seen early in the days of scurvy when mood disorders were part of the disease. But in the modern era, several clinical studies have shown that vitamin C can improve mood and alleviate depression. Vitamin C is an antioxidant, meaning it neutralizes damaging free radicals that are created from stress, illness, poor diet, and environmental insults such as pollution. It also helps the body to recycle and maintain adequate levels of reduced vitamin E and glutathione, 2 other antioxidants that are important for detoxification and overall health. Clearly, this is a nutrient of great value for everybody. It plays an essential role in maintenance of health and preventative medicine. For individuals who take higher doses of vitamin C for therapeutic reasons, choosing one that is actually getting into the body is exceptionally important, which is why a liposomal delivery format is crucial.
So that was Dr. Chris Shade, the owner, founder, and formulator for Quicksilver. And you've probably noticed a few more Quicksilver products in the practice, and there'll be more to come on that. When it comes to other forms of vitamin C, the Quicksilver form is the ascorbate form. So that is our laboratory best of science form, okay? You know, sometimes science doesn't have all the answers, though. Nature kind of figured this out a long time ago. And the one plant on the planet that has the highest amount of vitamin C in it is the camu camu. So with Physica Energetics, we're able to get the organic camu camu powder mixed with the buffered ascorbates to create a true whole food vitamin C for the same reasons that Dr. Shade talked about, but also to give us all of the cofactors that we need with vitamin C. Now don't forget, vitamin C is very important for lymphatic flow, immune health, liver health, but anybody who knows anything about energy and the adrenal glands know that you can't have healthy adrenal glands or a healthy thyroid if your vitamin C levels are low. If you're taking collagen to support the meat of the body and your joints, you can't build healthy collagen without vitamin C, and that's why we keep both of these in-house, because sometimes you need both. So we take both every day just to be sure. If your gums bleed when you floss or brush your teeth, you need vitamin C in the worst way, and I would recommend using both the liposome and the camu camu powder to address that. Understand that the powder camu camu is also liposomal. It's just been powdered. All right. The other product we've been using for about a year now is called Hista Aid. And this is another product from Quicksilver. We literally use more Hista Aid than any other office in the nation. And what I've found after 20 years of working in the Midwest is a lot of people's problems start as a histamine problem. It's very difficult to tell, hey doc, is it allergies or is it a cold? But I don't know about you, in the last 3 months I've heard nothing but complaints about gunk in the throat. Okay? And I have never seen anything work as well as Hista Aid for histamine related issues, throat stuff, sinus stuff, even topical mosquito bites. You can use Hista Aid topically. Something to keep in mind too is one of the reasons that we would use a liposome is to help the body absorb things that don't get absorbed easily, like quercetin. So unless it's in liposomal form, you're not going to absorb it at an appreciable level. And another thing about quercetin, and Dr. Shade's going to talk about that in a minute, quercetin's also being studied heavily for weight loss, particularly fat around the middle. So we can't get enough of the Hista Aid. It covers all the bases, but I'll let Dr. Shade talk about that.
Seasonal allergies and reactivities are a problem that plague a lot of people. One of the things that comes from this is excessive histamine release from the immune cells called mast cells. Histamine release causes systemic inflammation, it can cause blotchiness on the skin, it can cause a runny nose, itchy eyes, and even just brain fog. And how do we combat that with natural medicine? Now, quercetin and luteolin are two compounds that have been used for this, but their limitation lies in their bioavailability. And of course, here again, Quicksilver Delivery Systems breaks through that problem and gives a high delivery of these two elements that are known to stabilize mast cells. On top of that, we have nano-emulsified diindolyl methane, which makes a less reactive immune system, and sodium ascorbate in a liposomal format that helps histamine break down. Together, these give you fast relief to the different symptoms that you get from your hypersensitivities.
Not too shabby. So now you know more about why we use Hista Aid. Now, it's not all about supplements. The single best approach to a healthy immune system starts with diet and lifestyle. So number one, sugar is the enemy. Sugar will deplete immunity. We know that. If you have the equivalent of a 20-ounce pop or soda, if you have a 20-ounce pop, you're inhibiting your immune system for upwards of 6 hours. So if you're serious about having a strong and vital immune system, you've got to get rid of the sugar. You also have to move. All of our biochemistry was engineered around movement. That's where we came from. We're designed to move. If you don't move, your body can't heal. The lymphatic system can't drain, which means you can't take the garbage out. If you can't take the garbage out, things start to fester, and that's a greater immune burden. So you've got to figure that out. Sleep is huge. Get this, from 11 p.m. until 3 a.m. is the most important time to get sleep, because that's when your immune system is resetting. So the ancients had it correct. If you're sick, you get what? Plenty of rest, plenty of fluids. Doesn't get any easier than that. So hydration is key. 4, you got to have good hygiene. That doesn't mean wearing a mask. That means stay clean. Wash your hands. Don't put things in your nose or your ears. If you do wear a mask, clean it or get a new one regularly. Those things are nasty. You don't want to have a staph infection in your sinuses or your throat, let alone in your skin. Do the best you can to keep your environment relatively hygienic, not too clean. For example, hand sanitizer can promote the growth of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So there's a delicate balance, all right? Our bodies were designed to have its own system of checks and balances. And the final piece about hygiene is it's not just what you put into your body, but who you're around and what you think, what you feel, what you hear. So good thoughts, good words, good deeds. If we've learned one thing over the last 6 months, is that some people you call your friends are not actually your friends. And those that you may have thought had your best interest at heart did not. So there's been a major shakeup in your social circles. That's probably for the best, because now you know who's clean and who's toxic. Invite in the clean people, keep your tribe tight, follow these 5 rules. Now you know what we use and why it works. And more importantly, you get to meet the people that make these things. At the end of the day, you've got our team. Ask questions. Keep the emails and the phone calls coming. We've got some really exciting stuff in store for you for 2021. I know, 2021. There's 9 weeks left for the year. That's insane. So if you have any questions, ask the staff, ask me, drop us an email. And if you like this, let us know and we'll do more. We'll talk to you soon.